Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to Chairman Takano for including in this bill the Heath Robinson Burn Pit Transparency Act as a part of this comprehensive bill to address toxic exposure in our veteran community. I rise today to discuss my amendment, the Heath Robinson Burn Pits Transparency Act, named for Heath Robinson, who I spoke about in this very chamber just 4 months ago. I stand here humbled to see it come to the floor in a bipartisan effort to finally address this dire problem. Heath deployed to Kosovo in 2004 and Iraq in 2006 and was the Ohio National Guard NCO Soldier of the Year in 2012 and 13. Being a soldier was Heath's identity. He was proud of his service and humbled to serve overseas, defending those he loved. While deployed, Heath was exposed to burn pits in Iraq, and those toxic wounds of war followed Heath home. He was a loving father, husband, son, who unfortunately and tragically lost his life on May 6, 2020, at the young age of 39. His story is a sobering one, but reminds us why this amendment is needed. In late 2016, Heath began noticing early symptoms, starting with fatigue, which worsened to chronic gushing nosebleeds and bleeding from his ears. After a dozen doctors were unable to provide answers, it was finally determined that at the age of 35, he suffered from a rare autoimmune disease. After new symptoms presented and Heath's condition deteriorated, his family learned Heath was stricken with an extremely rare form of lung cancer that, according to 20 oncologists, could have only been caused by prolonged inhalation of concentrated toxic substances. Heath was eventually forced into a medical separation, with his lung cancer being deemed 100% service-connected by the Veterans Administration. His retirement documents specify that Heath was a recently retired combat veteran. However, once he applied for comprehensive caregiver benefits, the VA denied him. They stated that although Heath Robinson's lung cancer was 100% service-connected, there was no evidence that his cancer was caused by burn pits or combat-related. His wife, a doctor of physical therapy, had to take an unpaid leave of absence from a full-time job to handle her husband's round-the-clock care. This service was paramount to this family, and the VA failed them. The final year of Heath's life consisted of his wife and her mom watching helplessly as Heath suffered in pain, struggling to breathe daily and coughing incessantly. Many days were spent holding a basin under his face to catch vomit and blood streaming from his nose while they shoved the oxygen tube in his mouth intermittently so he wouldn't die. They lost count of the number of times he had to be rushed to the nearest emergency room, only to be transferred to a trauma hospital because the doctors had no idea what to do with him. Doctors exclaimed that they've never seen a cancer like Heath had. The VA decided this American soldier and war veteran didn't qualify for caregiver benefits because his exposure to inhaling toxic burn pit smoke did not cause his lung cancer. The Robinson family suffered tremendously while earned benefits were withheld by the VA. The story of the Robinson family is one of many, dating back years to the days of Agent Orange, where other veterans suffered the same fate. When veterans seek treatment related to burn pit exposure, my amendment requires the VA to report it to Congress. It demands transparency and helps find policy solutions driven by large-scale data to get our veterans the care they need and that they have earned. We can do better to provide care for soldiers and family members, and we must provide safeguards and transparency to ensure that. I urge a yes vote on my amendment and reserve the balance of my time.